Holy moly, from healthcare to self-care. What? This is going to be a rock star episode. We are going to be hearing and speaking to Sarah Thompson, who recently just spoke at our mastermind and absolutely crushed it. So without further ado, welcome.
Hi, everybody.
How are you?
Doing good. How are you, Dave?
You know what? I am I'm good. I'm pretty good,
Good.
it's pretty good for a Tuesday,
There you
not
go.
not bad for a Tuesday. So it looks like we're possibly talking to you in your home office. Is that right?
I'm home.
Okay.
I'm
Okay.
home. Yeah.
No, okay. So we'll get into more stuff later, including how you've been so successful. But would you tell us originally, for those who are just getting to know you, what brought you to Legendary initially, and what were you looking to accomplish?
Initially, I wanted to make $500 a month. I said at the mastermind when my BPA told me I could make $1,000 a week or a day, I was like, well, that's nice of you to say, but that'll never happen for me. Like I just wanted to make 500 a month to pay for some vacations, to maybe start retirement savings. Of course, at the time it was 2021, and so groceries weren't so expensive, but that is literally all I was looking for, was a way to supplement my income and maybe pay for a few extras.
And when was that?
I took the course in April of 2021. I got started in May.
Okay, May of 2021. So
Mhm.
about a little over 18 months, right? If my math's correct,
About
coming up
20.
on two
Yeah.
years. So what has happened since then, if you could describe that in a nutshell?
Like life-changing stuff. So once I bought the training, I went after it hard. Like I was not about to lose or about to, only halfway do this. And I had success, fairly quickly. I have a full-time job in healthcare, and I honestly never, ever, ever thought I would be interested in leaving that job in healthcare. And then after I was consistently making about $1,000 a week, sorry, I shouldn't make income claims. Sorry about that. Consistently
Okay.
making good money.
It's okay.
Um,
We'll give a nice big income disclaimer that
yeah.
we're going to be potentially mentioning numbers, and in no way is that a guarantee of income. And most people who buy any course, just like any gym membership, do nothing with it at all. So
Exactly.
Sarah's telling you how she was successful. So that's why the episode will probably be 45 to 50 minutes long, because it's not just a one sentence thing. That's a good enough income disclaimer, I think. Go
Okay.
ahead.
Sorry about that. But yeah, like
Yours.
that, what you said though sparked me. Like, if y'all bought the training, use it. Like, if you bought the training, take the training. I have so many people of my members who are like, I still haven't done day 2. And I'm like, well, then do it. Do it. But anyways, so when I started making good money, I realized that this could be something I could replace my income with. And at first, initially, it was going to be like a sacrifice. Like, I can quit my job and we can cut a few corners, and I can be a stay-at-home mom and be more present at home and yada, yada, yada. Of course, my husband, Jay, has always supported me. I could tell him I'm going to start wearing orange every day, and he'd be like, "Go for it, girl. Do your thing." Um,
I see.
he
I know Jay now. I can co-sign that.
yeah,
He's a very, very supportive guy, and we'll talk maybe a little bit more. Get you to talk a little bit more about how your marriage has evolved, and
yeah,
here in a few minutes. But
sure,
yeah, he would support you, and he did support you initially. And
absolutely. He's a rock star. So then I had to stay on with my job because I had to have a few surgeries, and I provide health care and health insurance, and so those kind of set me back. They got canceled and delayed and whatever. So I really wanted to quit my job last May. Didn't end up having surgery till December. Since the mastermind I went to in December, and then I had my surgery 2 weeks later, and I've been able to focus on my business. It's gotten crazy. Like, stuff, even after you hear people do it that you think could never happen to you, that's happened to me. Um, Purely because of my focus and where my time goes. And I was doing fine with it as a side gig. And I definitely, looking back, could have done better while I was doing it as a side gig.
mm,
but doing it like this, not having to go to work, and being able to answer messages for people and be more present and helping people has like, I, I'm making numbers that I really never dreamed possible, truthfully, if I'm being really honest about it. So I don't want to make any income claims, but things are good. Things are good.
So I want to clarify one thing.
Yeah.
Did you leave the job?
My last day is February 13th.
Oh,
I'm so, I'm like, so, because listen, like, I don't like a sob story, but like, I had a wreck when I was 16. I broke both of my legs. I work in physical therapy, so I'm on concrete floors. I'm lifting people, and like this in the summer and spring, I would come home and I would just be hurting, and I couldn't do it for 30 more years. I couldn't do healthcare for 30 more years,
yeah.
like I was. And so this is like it's an answered prayer for me. It's like, it's just so big for me, and it's still mind blowing that I'm able to do it, honestly.
Mm.
Like I tell people in my lives all the time, there's nothing that separates me from my neighbor across the street other than that I took a training and I did it. Like that, I took action instead of just saying, oh, my legs hurt, I don't know how I'm going to continue in healthcare for 30 years. Instead of just complaining about it or saying, well, that's what I have to do because that's what I was taught to do, I did something about it. And so quitting my job February 13th, through the moon, excited. Thank you. I'm pumped.
Deserves a hat throw.
Throw it.
Ooh, man. Golly. I mean, and the cool thing about your journey is that you haven't quit you still have a job. That's
I
why I was
do.
like,
Yeah.
are you in your home office right now? Because I wanted to be sensitive to the fact that you actually may be in a work office somewhere. But
This is my zone, which I can't show y'all over here because that's Jay's home office, and he and I have different personalities, and that has got to be cleaned up. Like he's he's gonna have to do something with that. He might get evicted. I don't know,
my man.
but
Yeah, I
yeah,
mean, we get down and dirty, us fellas, and in all
he's.
kinds of ways. So I
I
mean,
just,
yeah.
I'm looking for like a Pinterest type home office, and he's looking for a.
A
Mm-mm.
shed, a shed.
Yes,
A football field and a tool shed, right?
you Jay. That's
Yeah.
it.
And so again, I think your journey is so cool because like I said, you're crushing it right now, numbers that would change anybody's life.
Yeah.
And not just you. It'd be absolutely transformational for any person on this earth. And you still have a job. You're still working. You haven't yet left your job,
Not yet.
quit your job, transitioned out. I don't know what the how you're going to describe that, but um, man, it just goes to show that you really don't have to. You really can do this in your spare time, at least to get started. And we ask speakers who come on the show, who we asked to come on the show, like we did with you, hey, what might you title this? What sort of a headline? Because after all, we are teaching you marketing. So what headline do you want to? Well, we ended up going with the one that we have, but one that you also suggested was when you know you can do more and finally do it. Can you say more about that?
Yes. So limiting beliefs totally had all that in the beginning. And then I remember making that first commission and being like, oh my gosh, this is possible. I can do this. So then I went to the next step of making extra money every week. But then whenever you realize that if you just take what you're doing and focus a little bit harder on it, that can multiply. Like like when you know that you're capable of more, because I bought the training, I have the training, I can read and I can listen and I can apply. Everybody's capable of doing those things, right? You've just got to find your thing and go with it. Um, and I will say a big part of, I think, what makes people successful is being passionate about what they're doing, right? So I'm passionate about this because this has changed my life. Like y'all never, ever, ever, for those of y'all listening who have never done anything with your training, this was never in my wheelhouse to quit my job. Like in my mind, it was never going to happen for me. Right. But I got passionate about it when I saw that it could change my life. And it did. Like when you know what you're capable of, there's so much strength in that.
Yeah. And I think so many of us, I can relate to that when you know you can do more and finally do it. I mean, it was just like leading up to the event. I had finally made a decision. I was going to, shed off all that extra baby weight that I had gained during pregnancy. Um, and you know what, man, I went out in my backyard here at the office and just, started working out. Pretty much every day and just putting in the work and I felt better. I felt good. It wasn't like it was painful. It was actually really, the endorphins, all that stuff was pumping. Um, and I did it. I dropped, I use the event, I use the mastermind as kind of like and I'll do that sometimes with events. Like I'll use them as kind of like a business milestone. You know how you look forward to a vacation
Yeah.
or something and you get ready for it and all that. I do the same thing sometimes with events. Like I'll start getting, start working out, whatever. And I did this last time. And it was like, that was a great example of when you can do more and you finally do it. Right. The same thing with so many areas of my life. And I wonder how many of you are listening that resonates with. Um, so I want to talk about your content creation as well, because these were some of the things that you're excited to talk about and that are kind of happening for you right now. Now that we've got all the, hey, y'all, this is life changing. Okay,
Have I
pay
already said
attention.
y'all?
Well, I'm from the South
Oh,
too now.
okay,
Come on
good.
now. I mean, my family's from Alabama, so it's in there. I just got to get
Oh,
back around some of
come
my
back.
people, and it starts coming out. But um, so how did you get good at content creation? Were you this good when you very first started, and how has it evolved for you over the last 20 months?
Okay. No, I was not good when I first got started. I feel like if anybody tells you that, they might be lying a little bit. It's just trial and error, and you've got to figure out what you're comfortable with and what, so many people ask me that same question. What do I talk about? And it's just so easy to just talk about why you got started, like your pain points, and like you have to relate to people. I talked at the mastermind when I spoke. I did make a mistake in my content. I started speaking to people who had already started making money when I really I still have pain points. Like, why did I need to start making money? Because my daughter plays travel ball and hotels aren't free. And we don't want to eat at Taco Bell. We want to eat somewhere else. We want to eat at Drake's and get sushi. And, extra money. Why do you want extra money? Why do you need extra money? Some content tips I will give you all is don't be like everybody else. Like, I mean, it's okay to look at what I'm doing or look at what other people are doing and think, okay, that worked for them. That was good for them. But my word for word video isn't your word for word video. You got to make it your own, because when people click on that link, it's because they're interested in you at first. They're not and I don't mean this, they're not interested in Dave at the time. When they click on my link, they're interested in me,
Mhm.
So you've got to make your content you, not necessarily about you in a selfish way, but golly, I was struggling to pay for a vacation. And that's why I got started with the $7 training that taught me how to make money online. Start today. It doesn't have to be this big production. It just has to be a simple message that will reach people who are feeling it too.
Yeah. And usually less is more, right? And by the way, that we established this once again very clearly and powerfully on yesterday's show. We had Taisha on, and and we were talking about the power of uh, that first interaction with that content creator, that marketer out on the internet. And it doesn't matter what product you're promoting as an affiliate on the back end, whether it's Legendary Marketer, whether it's, Jill's health course, it doesn't matter. That first interaction with you is as or more important than everything else, because kind of what you say they're going to continue to be looking to see if that becomes true or if it's congruent, right? If the message is congruent. And so I think a lot of newbies get on their first few videos and really think that they need to do way more than they need to do. And instead of trying to nail just short little 5-second videos like the one that you just did and just get good at being concise, we tend to ramble. We tend to just go on and think that we need to do the most. And the content that does the best is always the simplest. Is there anything else that you found that or has surprised you about what content has done good and what content has not really taken off?
Well, my first piece of advice is don't try to understand any algorithm because it's not going to make sense to you. But then, like, so whenever you make a video, like if you're talking, I'll do this in my talking videos because my talking videos tend to be my most successful videos because it's me and it's just the truth coming out of my mouth. But if I listen to it and I repeat myself 2 or 3 times, I delete that because people don't need to hear you restate something in a 30-second video 2 or 3 times. Like they don't need to hear me say I was broke 3 times. It's quick. And if it doesn't feel comfortable when you say it, then rewind and say it again in a more comfortable way, or don't rewind, but erase and start again. And I don't mean that you should edit your videos a lot because you're going to get more comfortable with them as you go. But just getting to the point is very, very strong, I think, because when people are watching you, like on an app like TikTok or Facebook Reels are really very popular for me right now. They're on there to scroll, so you've got to make them stop scrolling. So you don't want to start out your video with, "Hey, I'm Sarah. I'm from Kentucky." They don't care. They're going right past that. You want to start your video off with like, "Hey," actually, you don't want to start off with "Hey." It's
Yeah.
like, "I was broke. I found a way to change that."
Right.
Then you've got them,
Yeah.
and then once they start watching your videos, then they might start caring about your story. And I find that people in my lives care more about my story than my talking videos. But
Right.
you've got to get them quick. So don't start out your videos with, "Hey, I'm Sarah from Kentucky," or, "Hey, I didn't have any money." Like, it's
Yeah.
got to be quick and interesting and grab them.
Yeah. If you can say what you're saying with less words, and you just gave a great example. Hey, I used to not have a whole lot of money. I was broke.
Boom.
It's more dramatic, it's faster, and all of us are in a way a media company, a media marketing company. Now in 2023, that's sort of what all of us are. It's just no longer it's not just, Time Warner or Warner Brothers or Pixar or Disney or Fox or whatever. It's Sarah Thompson, Jay Thompson, Dave Sharpe. It's individuals, but those same principles apply. The same media principles apply.
Right.
Commercials, it's that we're all doing mini commercials. That's what they are. They're not 30 second. It's not a minute long or 2 minute long Super Bowl commercial. It's almost a commercial in disguise because most people they're just on the app, and you want it to seem like it's just an entertaining edutainment style video that's not really pitching anything, but it is a mini commercial.
Right.
And back to your point about being concise and to the point, it's something that I've had to work on, being a long-winded person myself. It's incredibly difficult, and you can do it. And I've been able to do it too. Um, let's talk a little bit about you kind of picking a niche has been something before we move on to maybe email marketing or talking about some of the other stuff that's exciting to you right now. Um, a lot of people come in, and now we've got an incredible amount of people that are joining our community, and it's just getting really exciting. And everybody doesn't want to do the same thing. Everybody doesn't want to go into the same niche. A lot of people in our community choose to go back into the online marketing or make money online niche because it's who they just were a few months ago, and that's always an easy thing to talk about, or easier. But I'll get on Decade in a Day and at the beginning be like, who do we have on here? Who's what professions, what careers, what jobs? And you'll just start seeing. I mean, even you and your husband, such unique expertise. I mean, with the physical therapy, and then just his refereeing thing is very unique. It's a
Right.
very unique niche. And and so, a lot of people, I think, come in and are scared to commit to a niche. They feel like it's a marriage. It's like, oh my God, if I start a TikTok page talking about this, it's what I got to do for the rest of my life. And so that would be another thing that would just kind of create paralysis, paralysis by analysis, kind of over analyzing things. How do you view picking a niche and either sticking with it or moving to a new one or doing multiple niches at the same time? How do you view niche selection?
Well, okay, so niche selection is important, but I think a lot of people also get hung up on it. So when I got started, I just wanted to learn how to do digital marketing. And I started out with the brain training for dogs. Okay. I think I did that for like a week. And I quickly found that while I was doing okay, everything was working how it was supposed to. I was not at all excited about brain training for dogs. So it's not something that I wanted to stick with, because for me to keep doing something daily, it couldn't be this monotonous, well, I guess I'm going to tell people about a dog. Like, it's not passion. Like, it's not what I want to do. And so I went back to make money online because I could speak about it passionately. And because I went into healthcare because I wanted to help people. Helping people with money is very helpful, right? Like, I want to help people get out of that feeling of working all week and constantly checking your bank account. And then on Friday thinking, whew, I paid the bills and we've got groceries, but dang it, we still can't go to the movies. Like, that's a crappy feeling. And so learning how to make extra money every week or every month that can get you out of that rut,
Hmm.
that's what I could speak about passionately because I felt that. So I always tell my people, it sounds so funny to call them my people, but that's who they are. They're my people. Um, Pick a niche that you can speak. Like, if you were talking to your best friend about it and you got to really talking about it and you were like, whew, I have to calm down. Like, I get passionate about that. That's your niche. That's
Oh, I like that.
like, because if you can't talk about it with excitement or with passion, you might do okay with it. I don't know. I wouldn't, because I don't want to live that way. That's not what I want to talk about.
Yeah, if you get ranting, if the blood starts, you start getting high blood pressure when you're
Yeah.
talking about it, then yeah.
Listen, Dave, sometimes on my lives, I mean, I get to going and I'm like, oh my gosh, I got to calm down. Like, I mean, because it can,
Checking your
I
pulse and stuff like, "Holy crap, we're
yeah,
we're 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 overheating over here. I
yeah,
gotta calm down." As
calm
a
down. Take,
nurse, I know.
so,
So continue on with more thoughts about niche selection and finish your, because you got a unique. I went crazy about the whole if you get passionate. I wonder how many people that resonated with. But what else? And I also noticed that you are going into the health niche and kind of doing some kind of, or at least you're thinking about it. I mean, so just, are you married to the niche, or do you view it as, hey, I can get this going, and then I can branch out and do something different without shutting this particular business down. And it really is, or this campaign, right? Because I mean, if you have a campaign or a brand that's going on inside of the make money online niche, I mean, basically, you can have as many social media profiles as you want. They're all driving into the same funnel. So if you wanted to go into a new niche, you're not getting a new LLC, you're not starting a new business, right? That's why I'm walking back that start a new business comment I made a second ago, because is all you're doing is you're building a new funnel, and then you're creating new social media profiles that are on that specific topic, and now you drive all the traffic from those social media profiles into the funnel on that particular topic, and you literally can rinse and repeat. And I think the biggest mistake that I've seen a lot of marketers make over the years is ruining something to then go start something new. And the trick is if this is how you can really build wealth in this industry, and you're already on your path to doing that, is see if you can keep that thing going if you're going to then branch into a new niche. Because if not, you're just starting from scratch again, right? But if you can keep that going and systematize it, repurpose content, sort of like Tyler Wise said a couple of weeks ago on here, he said, hell, I could just post content through 2023 of all the content that I made in 2022 and 2021,
Exactly.
right? We systematize that more. We add more emails to the series, or we maybe edit them or something to improve them or update them. But it really, the beauty of once you set it, you can forget it, at least the funnel part in the email follow-up, for at least a significant amount of time, and just focus on the marketing and the driving traffic. So that would be kind of, my thoughts on 10 years of both doing it, but also seeing people branch out into different niches. But how are you approaching it?
So the one of the first things you said was, "Are you married to this niche?" Yes. I'm married to Legendary Marketer too. Like, just a shout out to y'all and how great your crew was and everything. Like, I believe in this. I could talk about this, which that's kind of funny. I don't really enjoy talking about it all the time, but like, I could make content about making money online all day because it has changed my life.
Yeah.
To add to that,
Same.
now I'm not going to be working and have more time. Because I'll say this, sometimes people will be like, well, how many products are you promoting? I'm like, well, dang, I work a full-time job. Like, how many you want me to promote? But
Right.
anyways, in going into the wealth niche, kind of like you, I'm going to the beach in July and I want to get healthier. I need to get healthier. I'm 36 now. Like, I'm not 26 anymore. And so if I'm going to go on that venture, if I'm going to start on a weight loss or whatever, I might as well just film my life while I'm doing it and create a new niche. Like, I'm never going to leave the make money online, I don't think, ever. But I can do another one because I don't mean it's simple. I don't want to deplete the learning process, but all it is marketing your life. So I'm just going to film my life. I'm just going to film. I'm trying to drink, 4 of these bad boys a day, or I'm trying to eat vegetables instead of chips, or my husband eats spaghettios at night and I don't eat anything. Stinks, but
It could be as simple as that, though. I mean,
it
one of the girls, the ladies that I have initially started following many years ago, I can't even remember her name, but I just remember her content and how simple it was. She taught me about macronutrients and how to count your macronutrients,
yeah,
and that's when I discovered My Fitness Pal, I think is the app. It's a free app where you can plug in what you eat throughout the day, and it'll count your calories, and more, as importantly, it'll count your macronutrients, your protein, your fats, and your carbs. And that was so valuable, is all she did on that channel. She didn't get into her personal life. She didn't do a whole lot of, like, I mean, she obviously would do some, I remember her, but the
right.
majority of it was focused on the counting the calories, the teaching people to count calories and count macronutrients, and showing different, just little, there's so many little tools out nowadays that you can either track your stuff with, or even just draw things out on a piece of paper. I saw this other video. This guy was talking about how to find how many calories you burn just throughout the day, your resting kind of, not your resting heart rate, but how many calories you burn without doing anything,
You don't do
right?
anything. Right.
And it was this simple little equation that he broke down, and he was just filming it like this, and he was writing down on a piece of paper in front of him. And it was so, those little videos of just kind of like, imagine every day just having your camera and just having, sure, you could track it in MyFitnessPal, but you could write it out and just show everybody, hey, here's what I ate today. Here's how many calories it has. Here how many macronutrients it has. And then you mix in some entertainment with kind of letting people know who you are, but the education is there and it's simple. And you know what? Those simple little hacks or tricks, the ones that we all wish we learned in school, are oftentimes the ones, the things that are easiest for you to do as a content creator, are also the things that are easiest and the most exciting for people to watch. Do you agree with that?
Yes, and And that's kind of the point. Like people, I've said this before, people don't really want to watch perfect people. I think
Right.
I would rather follow somebody who's, and I'm just making these numbers up, like I weigh 180 pounds, I need to weigh 150 pounds by April, follow my journey. And that's something I would watch instead of, 110-pound person be like, here's how I stay 110 pounds. Be like you're going to follow the story, you're going to follow the process and you're going to learn with that person. So provide education to people as you get education. And that's true in the make money online niche as well. Like when people, my friends or people who follow me on social media will message me and ask a question about what I'm doing with my content. And so it's just educating people on what you know and be willing to learn what you don't know and
Yeah.
just honest with that and being real.
And
That
not
people.
and not trying to act like you know it all, right?
No, that's actually very annoying to me is when people try to act like they know it all. Like, because what I knew 20 months ago when I got started, so many things have changed since then. Like, you have to have a mind that's willing to learn from people and to constantly look and be willing to change. Like, be willing to change what you're doing. Like, I totally redid my emails. And
Yeah. Tell us about those. I was actually just about to ask.
okay. So, and it's a little, I mean, I shouldn't say embarrassed. Until the mastermind, I'd never really changed my email sequence at all. And I'd done it for like 18 months. I had never, it was working okay for me, but none of those emails were really me, like they were good and they were catchy and I felt like people read them, but they weren't me. And so I was like, you know what? I'm going to start playing with this a little bit. And now I have so many more people. And I'm sorry, I'll go back to what I changed in my emails. My emails are all about me because, like I said a minute ago, people click that link because of you, not because of Dave or Legendary or the $7 challenge. They clicked the link because they were interested in you and what you were doing. So I seriously just tell my story in my emails. Um, and I'm just like, you know, I remember that feeling, or I can go back to that. And I was there, and this is what I did, and this is how I did it. Like even a day in the life of what I did or what I do in my emails to just customize them to me. And I get so many responses to my emails now that like I can have a conversation with people, because when I was sending emails that weren't me, I think people know that. So you've got to make your emails more about you.
Yeah.
And ask people for their feedback in your emails as well. Like, are you stuck? What are you stuck on? How can I help you? That's a big one.
And that really helps your email delivery. Some of you are wondering, oh my God, are my emails going into spam? Maybe and probably. And the way that you prevent that from happening, in the way that you keep your email address healthy in the eyes of the ISPs, the ISPs, the internet service providers, is like, these robots, that's what that's what these, Gmail, for example, looks at. And how do you think that they, sometimes what I'm about to do is I'm about to think of this from a common sense perspective, which I know is not that common. It's going to sound like some scientific shit, but it's not. It's really just some straight up common sense. So if you think about Google, right, and they've built this inbox, this email thing, right, and they allow everybody to have an email address, but there's billions of emails that are being sent every day, and it's their job to only put the real emails in your inbox and then to filter all the spam emails into your junk folder. Well, how many different variables do you think that they have to be able to tell if something is spam or if something's real?
Right.
I mean, I don't really know, but one big ass variable is if messages only are outgoing from your email address and nothing's ever coming back to you,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's a big sure sign that, hey, this is just a spam blasting this email address that you're using in your AWeber autoresponder, whatever it is. If it's only ever outbounding messages, in Gmail or Google is looking at that and saying, okay, there's nothing that's ever being replied to and there's no interaction. There's only incoming, no sending. So one of the best emails, it is just one that, as you said, piggybacking on your wisdom, that gets people to respond back. And it doesn't have to be a long one. It can oftentimes be there's actually a section in the Affiliate Marketing Business Blueprint called the 9-word email that revives dead leads. This was something that I learned from Dean Jackson. He's another wonderful marketer that did a podcast called I Love Marketing with a guy named Joe Polish. And it's just, hey, Sarah, are you still interested in making money online? Question mark. It's just when people get that message versus only emails that are talking at them, you'd be amazed by the tendency that people have to just hit reply and just say, yes, I am, or something. And even if you don't make a sale from that, it makes you A, look approachable, and B, helps your email score and will help you inbox a lot more.
Yeah, I agree. And I didn't really realize how important doing that was until I did it and got results from it. So
yeah,
email
it's
is a big thing. Y'all are, if you're paying for an email autoresponder, you need to use it to your advantage. You know, it's not just something that you do once and never look back at. It's something that you need to grow because those are your people.
yeah, those are the people that gave you their email and said, hey, I want to learn more from you, I want to hear more from you. And so let's kind of transition into something else that you're excited about, which is personalizing your responses and stuff to people. Is that mainly something that you're doing more on in email, or is that also spilling over to DMs and so forth? And how do you manage, I'm sure, the absolute avalanche of direct messages that you get?
That's hard. So first of all, with the emails, yes, I personalize my responses to that. And the people on my email list know that I check my emails in the morning. So a lot of times they'll be like, I sent you an email. Like if they're on my live, they'll be like, I sent you an email. I'll hear back from you in the morning because they know I'm going to respond. Like they're going to get my attention. Like they've got me. You know, I tell people all the time, if you sign up with me, if you're on my email list, I'm going to be there for you. And that resonates with people. They want a personal connection.
Yeah.
And like on
Even if
Facebook,
they don't use it, the idea that somebody's there,
uh-huh.
that's really important. We found that with people that work inside on our team that we bring on as business plan advisors, or especially all of our students here and clients in our community, that support piece. So what I found is that making that known is important, and just people knowing it, that you're there and that you're not going to take their money and run, or that they're not going to sign up for whatever you're recommending and just disappear, delete your TikTok account tomorrow and fall off the face of the earth. It's like an abandonment thing. People just don't want, they're afraid to be kind of left in the in the cold, I guess, for lack of better terms, like to be left on their own. And so I like that you pointed that out. Continue, and sorry for interrupting.
Oh no, that's fine. I will say I didn't have anybody when I got started. Like I was like alone in the desert. And so giving people help and support is very important. And then as far as like on Facebook responding to people, there's comments that just say info and I'll just type info out. But if somebody asks me a good question, I'll get in their DMs and I will, like if Dave asks me a question, I can be like, hey Dave, I just saw your question. Here's my response. Like you are a person. And so many people say, I'm so glad you didn't just send me an automated response to that. Like they want to see that you're a person. Now, I am not a pro at how to deal with all the questions and comments because I had a Facebook reel get 6 million views with over 1,000 comments. And I don't have an answer.
Yeah.
Like on the way home from the mastermind, actually, I drove from the airport. It was a 3-hour drive, and all Jay did was respond to comments for me on the way home because he is my support dude. Love that man. But it can consume your time. You just kind of have to realize which leads to nurture,
Yeah. Great point.
And I'll also say that like if you put clear instructions on your video or on your screen and then you type them in your caption or in your comments and people can't follow that direction, it's kind of like, well, but I don't know how to help you. Like, and I don't mean to sound like I'm going to leave them in the dust, but like if you can't do that, like, I don't think I can help you. Or, sometimes I get questions and I don't even know if this is right, Dave. You can correct me. But they want to ask me questions. They took the challenge and they want to ask me questions. And sometimes I'm like, hey, I'll help you, but that's all in the training. Like, you need
Right.
to watch the training.
Yeah.
Like, you've got to, you want
I
to
was
nurture
just explaining
people.
this to my son yesterday.
Huh?
I was just explaining this to my son yesterday. I was like, "Hey, look, man. I mean, the reason why I created all this training was so I don't have to repeat myself a million times." He was
Yeah.
like, "Well, I want to improve my writing skills." I'm like, "Okay," and he works here, and it's like, "Well, I got lots of training on that, and you can watch the training, and then we'll have something to talk about. But otherwise, we don't really have anything to talk about because I'm not willing to repeat myself, even to you." Right? Because I can't say it better than I did in the video because I was actually like really present when I recorded the video, had notes. I promise you I didn't miss anything. If we're talking here, I'm sitting here, I'm walking my dog, I'm on the bathroom. You want me to DM you and explain everything to you? It's like, look, and I'm talking about my son. So you damn sure know that I'm not going to coddle some grown man who, as you just pointed out, can't follow a simple instruction. So there's two pieces to it, I think. Number one, I got to make sure my marketing is clear on as you said, if I'm getting a bunch of people DMing me, then something is unclear, as you pointed out, and I can get more clear. I need to build systems and marketing campaigns that the majority of people, 90% of people, don't have any questions about. And you know what? The 10% of people who are info, is this real? I'm going to say this to everybody. They're not buyers.
Exactly.
They're not buyers. So they're not going to buy no matter what. And you know what? If you do spend your time explaining, likely they're going to come back with some sort of an argument
Hmm.
because they're an argumentative type of personality, and they're looking to try to poke holes, or people
Yeah.
have all kinds of different motivations.
And that's going to zap your time and it's going to steal your joy. I did a Bible study on not letting people steal your joy. So, like, you want to nurture the leads that are nurturable. People who are looking to fight with you or looking for you to prove yourself, like, they're welcome to stay and watch your videos, but I've proved it to my, I'm not here to prove it to you. I'm here to share something with you. Like,
Yeah.
it's my job to, make you believe me. Like, I just,
Choose the people that choose you, and don't. This is something that I'm having to constantly remind myself and others inside of Legendary, is that just because one person or two people have an issue doesn't mean that we need to change something. It just means that those are the loud problems and those are what you hear. But all throughout the day, there's people consuming training, going through, taking action, buying, et cetera, et cetera. And we're going to stop everything to kind of, um, take this person who is, when we dig, we always find that the person didn't put in the work, or the person didn't read something, or that it's always from somebody who wasn't willing to take responsibility for their own kind of process. And we're all adults here, we're all adults.
all there. And it's funny, like, how people in my community, I live in a small town, they'll be like, Sarah, come over here and tell me what you're doing to make money online. And I'll be like, I'll explain it to you a little bit, but I'm going to refer you to the $7 training I took. Like, it's like everybody thinks it's like one little thing that I can teach them in 5 minutes. And I'm like, no, it's legit. Like,
Yeah.
take the $7 training. That's exactly what I did. And my sister-in-law is doing it right now. My best friend's doing it right now. And I referred them to the $7 training, just like I would anybody else. And I help them just like I would help anybody else.
Right, and that's a plug and play approach to any niche in any product, by the way. You never make especially as the guru, but not even as the coach, or excuse me, especially as the affiliate, when you're not the guru or you're not, right? You don't want to become the person with all the answers, right? Because then people are going to be messaging you with 1,000 questions, right? So there's an element of being an affiliate to where, look, hey, I don't know it all. I'm still learning too. And I see people who, this is such a common question. What do you do? How do you create content before you've made money? Well,
Mm.
the same way that you create content in any niche before you've before, even if you don't have experience. Copywriters and marketers, marketing firms, marketing agencies all over the world get hired every day to create marketing messages, campaigns, commercials, and billboards. And they apply marketing messaging. They don't make it about them. They don't get on the billboard and talk about them. They get on the billboard, the commercial, the TikTok video, whatever, and they talk about the person. Hey, I was broke and I looked for a solution. I found one. Are you broke? If so, let me tell you about how to change your life in the next 30 seconds, right? I just, that the only thing I did was I said, I was broke. I found a solution. I don't have to go into, when I feel the need to go into my personal finances and justify and explain myself to every single person about why I'm doing something, I'm only projecting my lack onto the world. I'm projecting my insecurity, and I'm projecting the way that I feel onto my clients, and I have to be able to set that aside. I have to be able to set my own personal feelings and limiting beliefs aside and just serve the person by creating content that's relevant to them. Not a, I don't have, and as you saw with Sarah, and the majority of people nowadays are really learning how to market by creating interesting content, not just slapping screenshots and just putting your bank account in people's face every day. We don't, there's other ways to do it. And what would be your best piece of advice for somebody who's brand new, whether they're going to be in the make money online niche or a different niche? Obviously you can speak to your experience, but who feels, again, inadequate, or who feels like, hey, I'm a little insecure. I don't have a whole bunch of experience or results on this, in this particular, doing this particular thing or whatever. How can I still talk confidently about it? What's your perspective?
Well, first of all, you've got to have a product that you can talk confidently about. Like I said, you've got to be passionate about it in some way, shape, or form. Whether you've had success making money with it or not, you need to be able to speak passionately about it. And I use this example in my lives all the time. When I tell people how to start a thing on Amazon, if you want to start promoting on Amazon, if I wanted to promote this Bible, golly, there's content for days in this Bible, and I bought it on Amazon. Like, you've got to be able to talk about the product that you're promoting somehow, whether you're saying I've made money with it or not. You've got to know a little bit about what you're promoting and why you wanted to promote it, right? So make money online. If you haven't made a dime yet and you're trying to make your first video, you don't ever lie in your content. If I'm looking directly at the camera to y'all, don't ever lie to people in your content. It will wrap you up in trouble. Be honest. Like, I showed videos when I was at the mastermind of my content of me walking at my daughter's softball practice. And I'm like, I don't know what y'all are doing today, but I'm watching my daughter play softball. And I started this online business that's going to allow me to make money online when I'm not even working. Link in bio. Like, I hadn't made a dime when I made that video, but I knew I had found a way to make money that way. So take what's in the training, take what's in the 15-day business builder challenge, take something I said on here that triggered you, like, you could even, like, Amy Hires tells me all the time that she used to tell my story in her lives. Like,
Tell somebody else's story.
Yeah,
Great.
tell somebody else's story. Like, Sarah was a full-time healthcare worker and burnout and just wanted to make $500 a month. And now she's making a lot more than that,
Right.
Don't lie is big advice for me, because you're going to lie to your people and it just sends a bad message to the whole community if you lie.
Yeah, and you don't need to. There's so many different ways to be creative and to provide value without making it about yourself, and without giving specifics about your finances. Talking about things that are more important and powerful and emotionally pulling.
Yeah.
Like yesterday, I talked about with Taisha about coming home to your family.
I loved her vibe, by the way.
Yeah, she was on fire. She
I
is on fire. But that message, hey, I want to come home to my family. I'm tired, and imagine just ranting. You want to talk about, like, if you're passionate, you're in your car in the job parking lot and you're saying, hey,
That's what I do.
I'm at a job now, but this job ain't going to be the job I'm going to be working at forever because I want to come home to my family. This is what I'm doing about it. And then you go right into talking about them. This is what I'm doing, right? Boom. I took a course. I did XYZ. I'm applying the strategies. If you want to apply the strategies too.
Yeah.
And then you're called to action, right? And go ahead.
Got something else too. Something that I feel, and I could be wrong in this, but I think sometimes people feel like every video has to be totally different from the one they posted before. Your message can be the same in every video, just said a different way. Because I said at the mastermind, only 100 people watched that video and only 3 people liked it. So say it again. Say it again. Like,
right.
It's you don't have to come up with this unique story every single time, because it's really just the same message repeated differently.
Yeah.
It's not big. It's very concise. It's very concise. So don't feel all the pressure to come up with 500 different storylines to make 500 different videos. Your message is the same. I needed to lose weight, so I started counting my calories and I used this app. It's a very simple, straightforward message. Repeat it 2 or 3 times a day.
Yeah. Yeah. I wanted to tell everybody I got your TikTok handle. Jay's out here advocating for you in the comments. I got your TikTok handle wrong here, so hopefully it's right. Jay's refereeing out here. You know what I mean? Holding, pass interference.
Block the back. Block the
Oh man. Yeah. No, Joe, hey, what's going on? The same message said differently each time. Yes, it really, you don't have to come up with a different unique. We always think we have to come up with original ideas, right? Or we have to say, as you said, something different. And I love that. How can you say the same thing 50 different times? And now that we have tools, out here on the internet, we spend a couple of hours on Decade in a Day last week you were on it actually, going through some of this artificial intelligence that, you can plug in a topic and say, give me 10 different variations to say the same thing. And it'll give you variations, or you could of course say the same thing in a different location. People would not remember or notice.
They don't know.
Yeah. No. Have you ever gotten a comment where somebody was like, you're saying the same thing you did in that other video?
It's never happened.
Yeah. Can I get you to talk about the mastermind a little bit and what your experience was? What did you go there looking for? What did you get? And what was that like for you and Jay?
I could talk about the mastermind for days, because it was a game changer for me, honestly. Like, if you were to look at my numbers or research my numbers, the mastermind was a catalyst for me. It got my butt in gear. I think all of us can kind of make a little excuses as to why we're not doing something, but just to be around first of all, the value in being around like-minded people was so refreshing. Like, just to meet people who thought the same way you did, because in my small town here, like, nobody here is really doing what I'm doing, and they probably all still think it's a scam. These people all did it and know the value of it, and know that it can go even farther and bigger. It like expanded your thinking. Second of all, like networking, like I told Joanne, I made lifelong friends there. Like, my girls in my little group chat that we've got, and all of us, me and Amy and Emily had a blast together at that mastermind. Like, and to get to know them on a different level was so valuable. And then networking. Also, something I learned there that I didn't know. So just for everybody that doesn't know this about Legendary, everybody that works for Legendary, they want to see you succeed. Okay. So like, I was blown away at like, I'm just gonna say Grant, because that's who did it. Like, he just sat down beside me and he was like, "Hey, have you ever thought about doing this in your marketing?" I didn't ask him to do that. Like, he just wanted to help me, genuinely wanted to help me. Or like Sai, he was like, "Sarah, come here and sit down with me. We're gonna look at something." Because the people employed by Legendary and the people who are going to be involved in these masterminds, they want to see you succeed. They want to help you succeed. They're not doing the mastermind to pat themselves on the back. Like, they're doing the mastermind to help you grow. And that is exactly what I did, y'all, after I went to the mastermind. Like, it just I've made in this week what I used to hope to make in 6 weeks sometimes. Like it like set me on fire. And then the value of my husband being there was really amazing too. You know, he could tell a great story as to that he thought he was going to come and work on his online business and maybe play spades or chess. He plays chess on his phone. And instead, he was the one who was like, "Holy crap, Sarah, do you know how big this could be?" And I'm like, "I've been doing it for a year and a half, Jay. I do know." And so now, like, he's like my business partner. Like, he wants to be a part of this. I told Joanne, like, I think he's more of a, he's not going to be on the front end. He'll be on the back end side of it. Like, he's technical and he loves all that stuff. But the mastermind was an invaluable experience to me. I really that. Oh, I thought you. Sorry. I really thought I was going to go there, speak, and not be fed.
Yeah.
I'm not reason, but I got so much out of being there. So much out of being. I can't even. I really. I could talk about it for days. I came back on a high. Like, we made friends, and people want to help you, and it's just this amazing thing. So thank you for having me there. I want to come back.
Yeah, I mean, it was a blast. You also did speak, and that was really, really, really great. You kicked the, I think, Saturday morning session off.
Yeah.
And I mean, what was that like for you to just get up there and just absolutely crush it like you did? And I don't mean crush it because you did anything that was like superhuman. You just got up there and you gave incredible value. You were yourself and everybody loved you for it. What was that like for you?
Well, so before I wasn't that nervous, and I don't really know why I wasn't that nervous because I had never spoken before. Like, never been invited to be a speaker anywhere, like none of that. But once you get up there and you just see that everybody there, everybody's heading in the same direction. We all just want to make our lives a little bit better than it was yesterday with what we're doing in our marketing, you know? And so just telling my story about things that have worked for me. And like when people interact with you after that, like, or people that came up to me after I spoke and told me the things that I said that resonated with them, like, it was awesome. It was awesome to be asked to speak there because I think I said it, like, I was extremely humbled by that. Like, it was just an amazing experience. I don't know how else to like sum it all up. Like, being up there and talking to those people, it was amazing. Like I
Yeah.
said, I want to come back. I'm so ready
Right.
because I've learned so much since I was even there. Like, I've changed since I was there. I changed a lot about what I was doing to make it better.
Yeah.
So,
Well, it's odd because we when you're going through, getting involved with something and you're thinking, geez, I don't know. Like right now we've been up until this point, uh, the mastermind is a $2,000 upgrade. You know what I mean? It's like I've been in this industry for 10 years, and $2,000 for a mastermind event like that, these sort of experiences are being sold for 10, $20,000, right? I mean, and
it's
I,
valuable.
I I asked everybody. I think it was like the middle of the first day or whatever. I was like, so what you thinking about that $2,000 ticket price point? Like, is that how you feeling about that right now? Just asked everybody right in front of the entire crowd, and because I already knew what the answer was. I already knew what the answer was.
It's a steal.
It is a steal, and it's. I wonder if you could just speak briefly about, and then we'll talk about the spousal support piece, and then we'll wrap up. I wonder if you could just talk briefly about how big that cost feels when you're spending it, but how much of an investment and how much payoff you realize that you got from investing in yourself, and how easy it is, as Taisha said yesterday, to spend $1,400 on an iPhone, and how hard it is to spend a few grand on ourselves to go and immerse ourselves in a learning experience. Do you have a different perspective on money and investing in yourself now than when you started?
Obviously, yes. First of all, because it happened for me. The mastermind was a catalyst in me taking my business to the next level. Like, and I don't like to make income claims, but y'all, that's what changed for me. It was just little things that I picked up while I was there. And to think that that event is only $2,000, like that's a steal. I'm telling you, like, you're going to get to meet other people and not just know them on their social media networks. You're going to get to talk to them in person. You're going to get to share a meal outside with them. You know, you're going to get to talk to legendary staff members. Like, I didn't know when I walked in the mansion, Abigail came up and hugged me, and I was like, "Hi, Abigail." And she was like, "You're here. Yay." And it's like, you're a part of the legendary community, but once you go to the mastermind, you're a part of the family. Like when I saw Joanne's face this morning, I was like, "Hey, how are you doing?" Like, Joanne has 3 kids. I remember that. Like, and I met, so many, I don't want to keep saying people's names that I met there, but that relationship, even built in the 2 days, is so valuable to me now. And to know that, like, we all just want to help each other. And that $2,000 price point for that, it just kind of blows my mind, because my business since then has done way bigger than that. It's
Well,
kind of like when people ask me about investing in the blueprints. I'm like, yeah, they're a steal. I know it's a high price point, but looking back, they should be priced much higher. Like,
yeah.
I could talk about how valuable the mastermind was to me and my business all day. It was amazing.
And it was for me too. I get so much because that's why it's not the Dave Sharpe Guru seminar, because I'm there to learn as well. I mean, I'm there to sit and listen and facilitate and ask questions and answer questions, not just get up there and do a guru rant for 3 days with a big pitch to run to the back of the table at the end of the event. Which is what every other seminar and every other, and most companies have to do that. They have to, that's their business model. And it's not a wrong business model to do events and then have the whole goal of it to just get as many people to run to the back of the table and sign up for the next thing as you can. But I've been through that enough personally as an audience member myself, with even some of my heroes in this industry. And it wasn't an enjoyable experience for me, and this company has been financially healthy from the day we started, and we still are today, without needing to do all of those gimmicks, without needing to, without needing on every single, opportunity to hawk a new thing.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying that sometimes it takes away from the experience.
Well, and I'll say this, 2 more things. Y'all didn't sell us anything at the mastermind. Like, it was all about us and what we could put in. Like, there was no sales pitch at the end unless I missed it. Like, the sales pitch was getting there. And then once you were there, it was all about, what do I need or what am I gaining? It wasn't about buying something else from Dave. Like, it was totally about, what can Dave teach you, or what can Dave's staff teach you. And like the legendary staff, Dave, kudos to you. I think I even asked Abigail, like, how are y'all all so awesome? Like, they are all, like, the support staff. I met Christy, like, she's like, yeah, tell people I'm here, because that's really my job. I really want to help. And that's kind of like, I don't know. It just was something that I really took away from that. And that's why I said earlier, like, I am married to Legendary, because Legendary has proven itself to me as a company. Like, they're not going to sell you a product and leave you. They want you to succeed. If y'all wanted to do that, y'all would give me access to the same decade and a day I took in May of 2021 and say, there you go, Sarah. Hope you appreciate that purchase. But instead, I got to listen in while my husband sat in on it Friday. Right? Like, or they could sell you virtual masterminds with me speaking over and over and over for the same year, but you don't do that. Like, it's just so valuable. And the staff and Legendary staff is going to support you and help you, and they want to see you succeed. And that's another reason why it's such a good affiliate company, is because of the help there.
Yeah.
Sorry, I feel like I'm just blowing y'all up and ranting about it, but
I'm like, stop it, stop it, stop it.
It's the truth. It's the truth. And you can ask anybody that I've talked to since then. That part blew my mind.
Yeah.
It really did.
Well, we really want to try to have the company that we teach about, and that's kind of one of the goals. It's sort of like if the plumber's got nothing but leaks inside of his house, do you really want that guy working on your plumbing, So coming to events oftentimes with some of these gurus that we're choosing to, throw all of our money into some course or some training or something. Well, hey, it's not a bad thing. Come meet the person. See if they are who they say they are. Right. And that's one of the reasons why I started doing this show, is because any old person could write a scripted ad. But if I'm gonna, have a company, found a company and say, hey, this, I want to sell courses and we're a safe community. Well, let's hear from the leader every day. Let's hear from the leader. Let's hear what he's got to say. All right, cool. And that wasn't something that I did because other gurus were doing it. It's something that I did because it's been the right thing to do. This is an industry traditionally that's riddled with skepticism, that's riddled with scammers. Honestly, we see them every day inside of our Facebook group. And by the way, all of you who are new, or if you have people that are hitting you up or trying to plant little seeds of doubt inside of your head because they want to sell you something else and they're meeting you inside of our Facebook group, that's who I'm talking about, and so my hope and vision is that Legendary becomes apart from kind of these internet kind of goons, these here today, gone tomorrow type of cats. And that ultimately it just continues to be less and less about me personally and more about this amazing team that we have internally, and also all of our amazing students. And so finally, let's wrap up talking a little bit about spousal support, a little bit about kind of what that journey has been like for you and some tips that you have, because I could easily see that some people might be sitting here listening and saying, well, I didn't have my spouse's support from the beginning, or don't have it now, or whatever. So I'd asked all of you to try to listen to the things that you can relate to, instead of just picking apart the things that don't relate to you. I call it, eat the meat, leave the bones, right? Let it fly if it doesn't apply. What has that journey been like for you and Jay over the past 20 months?
So Jay, like I said, he's always been supportive. In our relationship, I'm the one that deals with the money and he's the one who spends the money. So when I told him, that's just, Dave, that's just real. When I told him that I wanted to do this, I mean, I think that he probably looked at me and he was like, do you think you can do it? And I'm like, yeah, I know I can do it. Like when I bought the blueprints, and he was like, okay, go for it. And he is just always, even outside of Legendary though, he is my helper. It's not I do this and you do that. It's if I need to go live, he'll pick up the slack, and vice versa. That goes both ways. That's a two-way street. Supporting your spouse and what they're doing. But Jay, at the mastermind, like so many people told me, because I didn't really look at Jay. They were like, you should have seen Jay's face while you were talking. Like, he's proud of me, and obviously because I've padded our bank account a little bit, but he supports me. And now when you actually can bring your spouse into what you're doing a little bit, because Jay has never been for it because he doesn't want to be on video, right? Like, he sees that I made money doing it, but he didn't want to be on video. But now he sees there's so much more to it than just me putting content out there. Like, he's like, I can make a sales funnel. I can link that up. There's more to it than just the front end. So let's say you're comfortable making content, but your husband's really comfortable answering questions. Like, that's a big thing. And people have been messaging me lately asking why my lives hold so many people. And I think it's because Jay's on there moderating for me.
Yeah.
He's answering questions as they come in.
He's on here moderating for us right now, for God's sakes.
Oh my God. I'm not looking at the comments. I can't imagine what
he's on fire. He's always on fire.
But he blocks people that don't. That's another thing. block people who are going to hate you. That's just, other people say engage with them. I don't. I just get rid of them. I don't need a joy stealer in my life. I ain't got time for that. But having my spouse's support was very valuable. And like Alex even talked about it during his talk, like being encouraging of your spouse while they're doing other things. And if you don't have a spouse that supports you, like maybe just ask them for a grace period, be like, listen, I know that you're not on board with this, but I am. Can you give me 2 months? Can you just for 2 months, see what happens for me and support me in this and just see where it goes? Like I didn't have that, so I can't give great advice to that. I can tell you if you're a spouse listening and your wife or husband's going for this, support them because they could do great things. Like if Jay's on here, I guarantee you he's already said every time I get a big commission, he's like, Jay's going to the Home Depot. And I'm like, no, you ain't. Like, that's what he says.
This
Dave, you
man's
need to
on
kick him
fire.
out of the group because he'll call me and he'll be like, hey, Sarah, you made a commission. I'm like, dang it. We're not spending that money, Jay. Like,
He's great. He's great.
he
And
is great. And he loved all y'all. Oh my gosh.
yeah. So, it's a process. It's a process to enroll people who are important to you into your vision, and you have to be very, very, very picky and choosy about who you're going to try to enroll. Right? I mean, spouse. Yeah, that's a pretty good idea. That's a pretty good person to invest in.
Yeah.
Mother-in-law, mother, aunt, friends. I don't know. I can't say that I'm gonna co-sign that one because
I didn't even tell
um, yeah, it's not even necessary. A lot of times when I'm doing that, I'm simply looking for other people's validation, and I don't need it. I need to learn how to validate myself. I need to learn how to, as you said, um, uh, know that I can do more, and then just finally do it.
Yeah.
Sarah, I'm going to give you the final thoughts. Being aware that even though you're in your home office and doing your thing at home today, I know you're busy. So take us home. Take us home with some final thoughts.
There was one thing I said in my presentation at the mastermind. I believe it's a Steve Harvey quote, and it says, do you want to squash a dream? Tell a small minded person a big dream. Like, so if y'all have big dreams, you've got to dream big, right? Make a big goal. So make a reasonable goal. I'm a reasonable person, y'all. I'm a realist. I'm not a dreamer. Okay. I set a goal at the mastermind on December the 4th, and I crushed that goal in the first week in January. And I thought it would take me a year. Okay. So it's okay to be realistic and it's okay to set realistic goals, but also allow yourself to dream a little bit and give yourself confidence and knowing that you have the tools to do this. Okay. You've got people that are going to support you to do this. So go after it. Go do it. Like, don't just watch all these wake up legendaries and absorb and never put it into action. You got to go, and you can't look back at what you haven't done. You got to get over that. Don't look back. We're not going that way. Like you've got to stop doing that. You got to stop beating yourself up. Like I could beat myself up for all the things I didn't do when I could have been doing them when I was still having success. But y'all, I'm having a lot more success now because of just little things I'm doing. So just y'all have got everything you need. Just go do it. And you've got this company here that wants to help you and wants to support you. And you've got, like I have friends that we celebrate each other's successes. Like, have that. Find somebody like that. If you're starting out, go to that legendary group. And I'm just going to say her name and she's going to hate me for it because she's shy. Jasmine Jenkins is my friend. She's starting out new. And find Jasmine if y'all are new and y'all support each other, talk to each other, bounce ideas off of each other. This is a community. We're not competing. We're a community. Like, go do it, y'all. Just go do it.
Yeah. Yeah. You can do it, and you can do it.
Yeah, you can do it.
And yeah, and it's a beautiful feeling when you do something that you can finally do. And that's just me taking your quotes and your words and repeating them back. And it feels good to hear that truth, right? Instead of talking down to yourself or living in that sort of limiting belief, everything is impossible, to start looking at things like that's doable. And then when you take action, as you said, you begin to crush goals as you've done so far just this year. And
Yeah.
then your vision and your confidence grows more. And that's where you really start to create unstoppable success, to where you couldn't shut it off. You don't know how to be broke anymore. You don't know how to be unsuccessful anymore. You just don't, because it's that whole sitting in your pity, on the pity pot, in saying either poor me, or I'm helpless, or I can't do this, or glad it works for them but it doesn't work for me. Whatever your soundtrack is that you play whenever things get hard, you can easily just take that record off the record player
Yeah. Stop
and
listening to that.
yeah, and start listening to the Sarah Thompson record, right? Or the Taisha record. She said yesterday, hey, I listen to my own voice. I record affirmations and then listen, because there's nothing more powerful than when you start to hear your own mouth talking some real smack about how you're going to attack the day and go and crush your goals. And it's just as inspiring to hear it from other people. So if you don't, believe it yet yourself, say it anyways, and then listen to this show and hear other people say it every single day. And you will eventually believe it, whether you like it or not. The same way that if you sat there and somebody told you you were a dog, a piece of what every single day, you'd eventually start to believe that too, right?
Yeah.
All of it. Block, block, block. All right, Sarah. Hey, it was so good to hang out
Good to see
again.
you again, Dave.
And I look forward to the next session. Okay.
Same. See you later.
Stay
Bye, bye.
legendary. All right, my friends, you can go follow her at Make Money with Sarah _T. And that's over on TikTok. Make Money with Sarah _T. Wow. Yeah. I mean, I'm fired up. If you're not fired up, check your pulse and come back and see us tomorrow. We're here every day. If you're brand new, I saw some comments. I want to do this. I don't even know what it is. Well, just keep listening. Yeah, see if you can take that excitement and put it to work. Right, and when you put it to work and you channel that even that anxiety, it doesn't matter what the feeling is. Channel into something productive, and that is how you can make 2023 your best year ever as well. Be legendary, my friends. Be great. We'll see you back here tomorrow for another episode. Get out of here.